Alright, hey everybody, Shadow from Cathedral Minis here today with Wednesday's Hobby Hang. And just kind of a last minute video. I thought I'd talk with everybody today, show everybody what I've been working on over this last 2 weeks since the last video, and kind of showcase what I'm working on and what's coming up for the channel in regards to the next battle report, which we will be filming this weekend and getting out next week. So I'm coming up with a custom scenario. When the video comes out, it'll launch with a scenario packet that you can use for Warhammer: The Old World, and it'll be multi-role for different armies. So you can have anybody be the attacker or defender in the scenario, and we'll have rules for that. But for ours, we selected Ogres for me being the attacker, and Scott is going to play his Beastmen as the defender, and it's basically a beach assault scenario. I thought it was appropriate given the nature of the undersea Ogre Army I'm working on from Titan Forge Miniatures, and we'll take a look at their beautiful line here. I am not sponsored by them. These are all miniatures I printed. I just think that they had just such a cool aesthetic that I would go through them with you and kind of show you what you can do with them. So on the camera, you can see this is what I'm using as a Thunder Tusk or a Stonehorn. This is the big mount, excuse me, and it's a crab. I airbrushed it. I kind of did a resin pour for the back of the base. Pretty sloppy one, but it came out all right. Did some wave effects there, and then used some AK sand up here to simulate the beach sand. And that's the General's mount. So we'll just kind of get into what they have to offer. And I'll put this guy over here. He's still a work in progress. I'd say I'm about 75% done with this army. Gotta do a lot of layering and highlighting still, but they'll be table ready by Friday. But yeah, there he is. That's what he'll look like on the mount. He has a little captured ship's captain or ship's mate here that'll ride over here, tied down to the cargo netting. But yeah, that's what you're looking at for your big monster option. It's pretty cool. I thought the idea of a giant crab was pretty neat. So my idea for these guys is they're cursed ogres that are underwater. They're kind of, his name is Captain Crackmarrow, kind of a play on the movie there. But yeah, so that's that one. Now I'll get into what I'm using as Mournfang Cavalry, and that is these large ogres riding hippos, and I just think these are pretty awesome. The only unfortunate thing is Titan Forge has not included a musician or standard option yet for these guys, but I'm going to attach a banner to this guy's spear pole arm here, and I'll throw a horn on somebody's belt, just a bit from either the bits box or I'll print one out. But yeah, I thought these were pretty awesome. I'm using this Hunter-esque guy here. Looks kind of like Crocodile Dundee. He's going to be the champion. Then, like I said, I'll have a standard, a musician, and I'll have 4 cavalry in total. I thought these models were pretty cool. The hippos themselves are pretty much done. I've got some eyes, and I got to do the mouths to do, but the toenails, it looks like. But yeah, I'll be putting the last layer of sand on tonight sometime. That way it dries overnight, and I can finish doing the details tomorrow before we start filming on Friday. But yeah, so that's your Mournfang Cavalry, and just a little bit closer look at the hippo in there. Kind of the look I'm going for there. So yeah, pretty awesome. And then we'll get into, I'm going to go with the boring stuff right now. I'm just going to show the bulls off. And I'm just going to show you a couple examples of bulls. They're all works in progress. Excuse me. But I figure if I show you every single bull, that would just kind of be silly. So yeah, I'll show you. How about the standard and a musician for right now? Now, the great thing about these is they're mostly one part minus the hands. They print easily. I had very little issues with these. I thought they came out pretty slick. The only issue I had was some of the little fiddly parts would fall off if I left it in the soak too long in the alcohol. But yeah, honestly, they came out awesome, and I can't wait to get the sand on them, get them finished, get them cleaned up, and looking tabletop appropriate, at least for the game. Now we'll get into the Yetis. I would say the Yetis are about 75% done as well. I have 3 Yetis. One's going to be a grayback, I believe. It's the champion. And the cool thing is I had an old Ogre Army, and I was really devastated. I had that army since I was like 12. And last year, I kind of went through a purge and started getting rid of a lot of stuff that I had accumulated and was just laying around. And that army was one of them that I sold off. I got a fair price for it, and it was really well painted. I'd been working on it on and off since I was 12, like I said. And so, yeah, it really sucked. So it took me a while to get back into Ogres, but when I did, I saw these, and I couldn't stay away. So yeah, these are the Yetis. These Yetis are pretty awesome. I don't know what kind of theme I'm going for. I wanted to keep the fur in line with kind of the bluish skin hue that I'm going to be going for with the Ogres, to kind of give them that look of like they're from the deep. But I also didn't want them to come off as Yetis because they're more of a warm water base theme. So I kind of went with like skunk apes. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there's a cryptid down in the southern United States called a skunk ape. Not super familiar with the legends or the history, but a quick image search will do you. And so that's kind of what I'm going for, these big stinky Yetis that are going to be running around as scouts on the battlefield. So yeah, that's, like I said, most of these, every model in here is Titan Forge except for one, and I'll talk about that one at the end. Yeah, these are exceptional. Pretty happy with those. So next, let's go into the Iron Guts. And the Iron Guts, again, the models, the sculpts, just everything about them is wonderful. And so these are a little bit closer to being done. I'd say they're closer to 80%. I've still got to do some work on the skin. This guy's ball and chain needs to be attached, but these are the Iron Guts. And just, I mean, check out this musician with this giant horn on his back. I mean, it's just, what is it, a shell, I guess. It's a shell he's using as a musical instrument. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And then here is the banner. And the cool thing about these guys is they do come with bare head options, as you can tell from the musician. But the only one that has a bare head in my unit is going to be the musician. I really wanted to utilize the deep sea diver helmets. One, it's less faces to paint, always a bonus for me. And two, in the long run, I think, you know, they're the only unit in the army that's going to have them, and I just wanted to maximize that unique look. So yeah, this is the model that's probably the closest to being done overall in my army. I still have to attach. He's got a spike ball and chain I took off on purpose here so I could paint back here easier. I need to finish him up, but yeah, these are pretty exceptional models. I'm just floored by the aesthetic. I think it lets you use your imagination and come up with some cool stuff. The next thing I'll show you will be the Hunter. I have 8 of those Iron Guts, but again, I'm not going to show you every single one, just because, you know, I don't want to bore you with all the repeats. But the next model I'll show you is the Hunter, once I find him here on my desk. And this guy is awesome. Now, he's about 75% done as well. I got a lot of layering and a little bit of highlighting to do. Here, he's showing up well on camera. But just the whole fur trapper aesthetic with him carrying up the big tentacle, it's gorgeous. I can't get over this piece. And then to make it even better, the models that Titan Forge that I selected for my saber tusks are indeed creatures with tusks, and I went with walruses. Now, these walruses are only about 50% done. Work in progress, sorry. But, yeah, these are also adorable. Now, unfortunately, there was only 2 poses of these, so I created a couple of mirrors just to give them some variation when I was in the slicer. But these 5 guys will be accompanying this Hunter, and he's, oh man, just look at that. What a cool model. Yeah, neat. Really gets my imagination going. So, 2 things left to showcase in the army. 3 sort of. But first things first, I'll show you the Butcher. Now, I do take the Cauldron upgrade, and I'll get to that here in a second. But the Butcher, which has this witch doctor voodoo aesthetic to it, is just absolutely insane. He's got the giant snake here curling around. He's biting a little voodoo doll. He's holding the tree as a staff with, looks like mummies on there. Oh, he's got the hammer from nailing them in there. It's just absolutely cool. You got a little voodoo doll down here. And then the Cauldron, which he is going to have, is the only model that is not, I want to give him a shout out, is not Titan Forge. So it's always worth exploring. If you have an idea for a creation, maybe you can find something. And I got this off of Thingiverse. And this is titled the Grok and Roll Chaos Familiar. It's from Ariel, I want to say is the creator's name, but I'll link their I'll link this guy down below and their page on Thingiverse. Give them some love. But yeah, this was the idea I had for the Cauldron, which is as they're coming up on the shore, the Cauldron's running in front of him, kind of slavering, and that was my idea for giving it impact hits and stuff. And maybe that's what causes the impact hits. And I don't know. It's just a cool little piece, and like I said, the only one that's not Titan Forge, but it kind of worked with the aesthetic that I was going for. So yeah, absolutely. Again, just a fantastic model, just a sweet piece. And the last ones we're going to get into are the Gorgers. Now, I have 2 Gorgers in this army, and I used these guys as Gorgers. They'll be in the links below again. Can't exactly remember what Thingiverse had them labeled as, but they're like Sharkmen. And I thought for Gorgers, this is absolutely makes sense. So these little hammerhead shark guys, this one is dragging a merman up onto the shore. I had a little bit of pitting here from my supports, but I wasn't too upset about that. Not on these guys. So yeah, this one's stepping on a giant fish. He's got his trident. So yeah, these will be my Gorgers. They've kind of snuck up on land to feast early. So yeah, just a fun army. And the things that you can come up with, again, with 3D printing, I'm super excited to see. I've got most of my bulls with iron fists. This one has 2 iron fists. I just mirrored them. Those have iron fists, and that way they have that little bit of an extra armor save. Here's what one looks like with just a regular guy. But yeah, just a cool army. So the army list is 3 units of 6 bulls, 1 unit of 8 iron guts, 4 Mornfang cavalry, 2 Gorgers, 3 Yetis, the butcher, the hunter in his saber tusks, and the general on his thunder tusk. And yeah, I think it'll be a cool little shock effect army for 2,500 points. That's what we're running for. The other big news is that's battle reports are coming. The channel's back, moving along. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Please hit that like and subscribe button. We are trying to grow the channel, and I'm looking at buying a little bit better camera here soon. Looking towards the future, I am actually working on a Empire army, also Titan Forge miniatures, but I am theming it as Nippon. So I know it's a kind of a weird timing. I know a lot of people are going to be focused on Cathay, but I'm sticking with 3D printing right now. Games Workshop prices are just out of control. I'm not dogging them. I've been a fan since I was 9 years old. I used to call in and talk to the trolls on the phone and ask them silly questions, and they were always gracious to answer, this young kid's questions. But I love the company. I understand it's publicly held now, and I disagree with the price hikes. I will always buy the books. I don't, I will never pirate a book. I will never do anything along that lines. But I have seen and touched most of the models that they're currently running for the old world. At some point in my life, I've had an army of everything, and I've either sold it off or I'm still sitting on it, like in the case of my dwarves and my vampire counts. But I don't get as excited anymore because I've already built these armies. Cathay excited me because it was plastic, but with the current prices and everything and the economy, I just have to sit this one out. So to satiate my need for a new army, I will be jumping into Nippon, and I think it'll be kind of cool. It'll be a nice little proxy to an Empire army. Also kind of want to try them as Dark Elves as well. I think that rule for the Harganeth Executioners would fit Samurai well. But yeah, so stick with us. I'll have a battle report coming next week. And thanks for everybody being here. Talk to you soon. Bye.